Welcome back to where Preston walk. QPRians said that Preston were the dirtiest side they've seen in a long while. And are we worried about the temperament of players? Another red card. On top of that, one of the worst performances of the season at Loftus Road. Where did that come from after that Leeds result? Just what is going on? Plus, who the worst and best sides that Preston have played this season. It's the last one of the year. We've got Etienne and Ash with us. Harvey is out working, earning some money, so we'll let him off for this one. Etienne, he's chosen a good one to miss, hasn't he? Was that the worst performance of the season at QPR?
You could say that about a lot of our performances this season, but I'd say it's right up there, just lacking any attacking effort. And whenever QPR came forward, we looked fragile. And, especially after they scored, we just did nothing. We did nothing to get back into the lead. We got a man sent off. And as soon as I saw that notification coming up saying Liam Lindsay was sent off, I just knew they were going to score. And it happened. And it was just so demoralising just to see us get battered against a team we should be beating.
There's a tweet about it, Ash, but I'll spell it out for you. How can you be so good against Leeds one week and then so awful the next?
I'm starting to think maybe Leeds just had an off week and we weren't that good. They just made us look good. I think that's a big part of this side, though, is inconsistency. And I've heard a few times people say that if some of these players were consistently good, then they wouldn't be at Preston. They'd be somewhere else. So I think we do have to kind of expect that to some degree. But that was an absolute shambles at the weekend. It was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the tweets weren't kind. We won't go through all of them. But James says 2 shots all game was one of the worst performances we've put in all year. Chris said that is at the start a reminder that we need defensive reinforcements in January. I don't know what it is. Appalling performance. And the last one here says, because due to obviously your chairman was on Talk Sports last week saying that new deals are in the offing, and he says if any of those defenders get offered a new deal, it's an absolute travesty. I mean, Etienne, what do we know about the new deals? If anything,
we haven't heard much, but we do. There's a lot of rumours that Freddie Woodman is going to get a new one, and we've mentioned him many times. And then even then, I saw a tweet today. Doesn't really matter how true it is, saying we were now doubting that decision and going to look at other keepers, and it's like, it doesn't. I think if we were confident in renewing a couple of our contracts, we would have done so by now, and we would have gotten sealed before foreign clubs could come sniffing. Yeah, every week you change your mind on who deserves a new deal. After that performance, I would happily see everybody apart from Keane Best go.
Yeah, we'll talk about Josh Bowler's contract in a minute because there's conversation to be had there. Let's talk about the this dirtiness then, where that's coming from. Shall we, Ash? QPR weren't very happy with lots of things. This was a QPR fan who said, it's been a while since I've seen a team at Loftus Road who plays as dirty and as desperate and as shameless as Preston. Carl says, I can't actually believe just how many of our players have done absolutely nothing in this game, and our discipline is horrendous. So many stupid fouls every game. And bringing on Reece meant we were down to 10 men before Lindsay got sent off. What is it about you and discipline this season? Your yellow card stack rises every game, and you are now nearly top of the league for red cards as well.
Yeah, well, firstly, I don't think it was a red. It was a bit of a weak. There was nowhere he could go at that point. He'd given the ball to one of our players, and then he just ran into Lindsay. But yeah, it was a poor red card, and I think the lack of what you could call discipline. I don't think it is that. I think it's a case of we're trying to be more aggressive with teams. We're trying to put challenges in. We weren't doing that last season. And I think maybe some of them have just taken it a bit much to heart, and they've just thought, right, let's go kick the crap out of everyone and see what happens. But yeah, I kind of like the aggression. I like that side of the game. I think the game's a bit soft, so I think that explains a lot of the cards we're getting. But yeah, I'd prefer to see that than just sitting back and trying to hold draws off blocks like we were doing last year. I say get stuck in, and it can be quite entertaining at times. It puts a bit into the game.
I want to ask you about the most controversial point to the game, which was obviously your goal. Osmajevic running through, and obviously their defender goes down and is taken off. Some QPR fans, not all, I think it was about 50-50 was said, disgraceful, unsportsmanlike. Etienne Osmajevic didn't do anything wrong there, did he, in that moment?
I don't think so. I think you gifted an opportunity like that. Obviously, Steve Cook has gone down injured, but in that moment, if Osmajic is even thinking about stopping play that, I'm going to be disappointed with him because he should be going for that goal. He should be looking to put it away. Referee calls it back. Okay, that's fair game, but yeah, Osmajic has just played to the whistle. He's played the game of football. He's scored. He's taken advantage. And, you know, admittedly, if it was the other way around, I'd probably be saying, yeah, that striker's a cheat, blah, blah, blah. But I think Osmajic has done the right thing. He's scored. You know, I hope Steve Cook recovers well soon, but I don't see anything wrong with what Osmajic did.
Okay. Ash, what's your take on it?
I think them QPR fans that were complaining need to grow up. There's nothing. I don't think he even saw him get injured. He had the ball. He was getting to the ball first anyway. And I think he was past him and didn't realise. And you actually saw it after the goal. As soon as he realised the player was injured, he actually held his hands up and walked over to check the fellow was all right. Again, yeah, I hope the guy gets well soon. I hope it's not too serious. I haven't seen anything about it since. There's nothing wrong with that for me. And at the end of the day, you play to the whistle, right? So ref didn't blow.
Absolutely. Let's do some more tweets from that particular game. Then Reece and Keane were genuinely a waste of space today. They didn't press at all, and Keane didn't once look to make a forward pass when he came on. So poor. Strange subs too, and Majevic was the only decent player on the pitch, and he didn't even look tired. Here we are again with Reece, Ash. We can't talk about him every single week, but we're going to have to in this case because he just doesn't look interested every time I watch him.
I don't know what he offers. He had one good season, and what makes me wonder is, are we expecting him to be that good player, or was that a fluke season? Because we haven't seen it prior, we haven't seen it since. And what I don't understand, this is my only concern currently with Heckingbottom, is I don't understand why he's making that sub in the first place. He takes off any attacking threat as soon as he takes Millie off. He seems to always sub Mads off, which I understand a bit more because he's running around like a madman and does look like he's blowing. Millie looked fine, and I'm sure the guy wants 90 minutes. I mean, he's our only goal threat. You keep him on, and if you're knocking balls forwards towards the end of the game trying to get something, he's the guy that's going to get it for you. So it's a bit odd to sub him off. And Reece just, yeah, I'd say get rid of him in January. If you can get a couple $100,000 for him in January, let him go.
Okay. We won't go into that debate again because we've done it on previous episodes. There is one contract position I wanted to bring up with you, Etienne, if that's okay, and that's Josh Bowler. Apparently, North End are in talks with Forest about ending his loan, but because there was no recall clause inserted into the deal, the only solution is for another club to come in. I mean, if this is true, this is typical North End, isn't it?
We all love Peter Risdale for this. I do not get. It's almost like we were so excited at the possibility of signing a player like Josh Bowler for his reputation that we just forgot to insert a recall clause as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. I feel bad. I feel a bit bad for Bowler. You know, he's not the player he once was, and I do think he's shown some signs when he's played for us, but ultimately he's not the guy that we need, and we could do with freeing up those wages. But yeah, I mean, to wait for another club to come in, I don't even know who would want him. That's the thing. Like, I can't think of one club that would take Josh Bowler right now. And it gets even worse because today, apparently, Ockles is about to head out on loan to another team. And, you know, he cost $2 million in the summer. It just makes you think, what the hell were we thinking in those last two transfers? It just a ludicrous situation.
Dare I ask your opinion on it, Ash?
Yeah, there's two things I have to say. The first one's Ridsdale out every time. Absolute disaster class from him again with both transfers. You know, the Ockles one is dreadful, but when Bowler signed, I said on Twitter, I put a tweet out saying he looks like a guy called Paul Bowen, who's a semi-famous guy from Chorley that sells pies. He owns Bowen's Pies. I think we'd have actually been better signing Paul Bowen than signing Josh Bowler because the boy offers nothing. He's absolutely useless. And you know, Blackpool's best ever player being a donkey is very happy.
Very, very, very good. Right, okay, let's leave that game there then. 2 huge home games to come then this week against opposition, which are entirely beatable. And of course, all the bottom 6, all the 6 teams below you in the table have all got to come to Deepdale at some point over the next 5 months as well. So there's lots of points particularly to pick up there. So we'll be joining you, or please join us throughout the remaining 5 months as we go through that. Finally, this week, who's the best and worst team you played against? Etienne?
Best team we played against. I mean, so many teams have battered us this season, but I can't really say teams like Swansea and Portsmouth are the best teams we played against because they've been getting battered by other teams throughout the leagues. It's a really tough one to say because I'd say maybe Sheffield United, very, very, they were always going to be in the promotion battle. I can't even say Burnley because we did go there and perform really well. So I'm going to say Sheffield United.
Okay. Ash?
Yeah, best I'm going to go Arsenal in the cup. It's a bit of a cop out. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely best Arsenal. Worst is tough. Probably Cardiff. Actually, I thought Cardiff looked terrible. They couldn't even string a pass together. So yeah, I would go with them.
All right, please let us know in the comments if you've got any other views on that. Thank you very much. It's the last one we're recording, of course, before Christmas. So we do want to wish everyone that supported us in the last 4 months a very Merry Christmas, and to you guys, and of course Harvey as well. It's really hard making any kind of football content these days because everyone's got a podcast, but particularly difficult making a North End one when so many other good ones exist. So thank you very much, Ash and Etienne, for all your hard work. We'll give you a couple of weeks off now. Enjoy your Christmases with your families. And we'll see you in 7 days' time when we get asked these two to review 2024 with us. I don't think it will take very long, personally, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Thank you very much for your support on Where North End Walk. Have a great Christmas. We'll see you in